and welcome to DM Talks. Today we're gonna talk about chess pawn structures. Chess pawn structures are sort of what determines the play. If it's an open structure, you will have open and lively piece play. If it's a closed structure, you will have sort of often slow maneuvering, and then you have the sort of the middle ground where you have both. You both have maneuvering and you have some lively action. But the understanding chess structure is essential if you want to get to a higher level. And as you progress in chess, you will slowly master more and more structures. You will know instantly, in this structure I have to do this, in this structure I have to do that. And today we're going to look at the F-pawn disease. There are some people who get success early with some things and then they just never can get rid of it again. One of them is, for instance, players who love the French as black. They somehow can never get out of that. That's even though the computer is very clear that unless you have something compensating for your lack of space, the French structure is bad for black. It's compact. It has got some potential, but you are behind on space, and white is better. You even have a bad bishop, but you have some potential for dynamic play. And if you like the French, you think all the French structures are just good and nice and solid, and it will be there forever somehow. I don't know why. See. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna look at a game here, Anish versus Nakamura, because the F-pawn disease is when players, they love to use the F-pawn. So this start out at they call it Nims Larsen attack. In Denmark, we just call it the Larsen Open, of course, opening, and D5 and C5, and we have normal chess, just with reverse color, and here comes the F-pawn. And this is not a bad move in this situation, but you should be, and a lot of players love to push the F-pawn with the hope of getting some attack in the F file, and this is often how you beat beginners, is just get something going against this weak square, and bang, they are mated, like in Scholar's Mate or something like that. But, and this is the big but, when you play F4, you seriously weaken a lot of squares. So basically you're weakening these squares, and by weakening them, you will sometimes suffer fatally near the king due to the F-pawn moving forward. If you notice, it seriously weakens the king side and the center. Other moves is not so severe as the F-pawn. So F-pawn moves are basically more demanding for the further play. When you have weakened your structure with the F-pawn, you have to be a little bit careful. And as we see here, this can go wrong even for some of the best players in the world. I believe Nakamura is probably number 2 in the world in this rapid chess, but he just lost like a stone against Anish in this game. So, and we play G6, so we have sort of you could say some sort of Nims. You could say you have a bird very opening. You could say you have a Dutch opening, or you could say you have like a Queen's Indian in reverse. Anyway, this all looks very nice, but and of course white must be okay here, but he's not better for sure. And this is a little bit weird because he looks like he has all these good pieces. He is controlling these squares here, and you can see that Nakamura is already starting to guard the E file, but it doesn't really help him. And here he plays D3, and that's probably not the best move. He should probably just castle. I don't think he should play D3 because it seriously weakens D4. He plays D3, knight C6, and black just continues to develop. very well. And here knight d2, and white is preparing e4 or maybe c4, but probably e4, and it all looks, and might be castling queen side, might be castling king side. It all looks very harmonious. But after this move, black is already a little bit better, because this sort of shows the hole here, and the knight is ready to jump in, and you see that there's a lot of holes, and you see that after this it looks like white's got this Capablanca structure with all the pawns on white, and then a black squared bishop. The problem is the black squared bishop is here, and also it would be nice if black had a white squared bishop that could sort of bite on gray knight, and he doesn't. He just have two knights, and they are very good at exploiting different holes. So black starts with b5, taking space on the queen side. And okay, and we've all tried these kind of position where white somehow managed to mate the black king, and this is also what a typical white f pawn deceased player is hoping for. He's hoping to get at your king, but it's a long, slow train coming. And it might not be coming. And meanwhile, we have a gaping hole here. And in general, it is white blacks, and this might also be weak, and so on. And if white does not get an attack, then he's just under pressure here. So and here this is probably already a mistake, because after this move, black is ready to jump in here. Of course, he's seen this move. The plan was pretty clear. It was to play this move, and after, for instance, this move, you go in here, remove the thing, and white is again in good shape here. He might even be slightly better. I think I would prefer to be white here, but it's a close call anyway. But black does not need to help as much. Here he's playing to exploit the holes, and this one is a nice move. Attacking the pawn on f4, and we see that Rookie one is not like in part of the system where you want to attack on the f file. You already remove the rook, and now you're under attack on the f file. Just shows that this is sort of, and maybe white should sacrifice a pawn here with h3. He did not do that. He played this move, and that made things even worse, because now the target is a hard target on f4, so black strikes immediately with e5, and we already see, and this is what happens when things go really wrong for players with the f pawn syndrome. And what was Nakamura's sin? Well, a little bit unprecise, and then but also probably hoping too much to get this f pawn f file attack going, and here he's already clearly worse. And after this it gets, and black just have good pieces, and you can see that black's king is absolutely safe down here, and this is easy to play. And this does not change anything. Black would like to keep this pawn here to keep this guy out of this square, of course, and also the bishop boxed in on and getting back into the diagonal, hoping just to exchange everything, and then you will be okay. Nothing more than okay, but it's not going to be. So check. There is a free lunch here, and whoopsie doopsie, here comes the knight. So white is already, and you can see that this is now a serious threat. So what to do about that? Unpleasant. So white is forced to play this move. And by the way, usually Nakamura is a very good defender, but this is serious stuff. They are all coming in. Next might be coming, and we see that black can now employ the f pawn and hoping to give a check in this diagonal here. That would really hurt a lot, especially if the F file is open. You're just going to get crushed. So this has all gone seriously wrong for white. And he takes this one, going back, and here it's black's to move. What to do? You could move back, but then white will play a3, push you further back, and might survive. Instead, Giri just does this move, little nasty move, and this just lays the king bare. You can take, and he took it, and check. And the best move here is probably to take on f8 to play here. He didn't do that. He played this move, and then came e3, and take and check. Ush, 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 ush. And take, and by the way, this is sort of a model game on how to play with black in these positions. So that's why I included the game. I am a strong believer in learning from what we call model games. That is, game where one of the sides shows the plan very clearly and in a precise manner. And here, and check, and this is seriously painful. And of course you have to play something like knight rook e4 here, and knight takes, and you lose an exchange. So the best line here is to play this move, and of course this pin is here, so you have to do something like this, and of course this is totally winning for black. But after this move, black wins. So the question is, can you find the win for black? How do you win here in a little fast? It's not so, well, maybe not easy, or maybe not difficult, I don't know. Knight d4, and here he resigned. The mate is coming. You can play knight f3 and give up the rook, but the basic threat is queen h5 check and queen h2 checkmate. Notice that the rook here is cutting off anything on this diagonal. If black takes, white takes, you just play queen h5 immediately with immediate checkmate, and rook takes is also check and mate. So rook, knight f3, rook takes e3, you might survive a little bit. You will lose the queen, and you will be mated afterwards as well. So to sum it up, the structure is of course very important here. White was hoping to sort of keep a good structure, and black managed to poke a hole in the F pawn disease structure that white got himself into here. And by the way, this is a very common scenario in for instance in my blitz games, when you meet these F pawn guys. Sometimes you get mated, it happens, but most of the time they end up in positions like this that are just horrible and with holes everywhere, because when you move the F pawn early, it does weaken some squares, and you need to be very good at finding counterplay. You need to be very good at understanding when are the weaknesses a problem and when they are not a problem, and of course usually Nakamura is very good at that, but here it just went horribly wrong, and he lost in a bad way against the Giri, who won a model game. So this game is something I recommend playing through a few times, just to learn how to crush the F pawn disease players. This was GM Talks. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm sorry we don't publish more. We have been very busy here at KH Online, but hopefully it will be better in the future. So check in again soon.